All right, good evening, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Before we get to our Ned McGreevy League, so just some kind of preliminary things, good things, and all that stuff, and just adjustable things and what have you. Yeah, because of the job that I'm working right now, um, as far as daytime streaming and every once in a while nighttime streaming, they will be affected. So going forward, I'm going to try to be able to just sort of let people know, all 297 of you. And again, I've never been one for like, making the channel huge or what have you. But it'd be nice to maybe hit 300 subscribers someday. But nonetheless, if that doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. So there's been no daytime baseball lately because right now my hours are daytime hours. On the days that I have off or on days I have afternoons off, I'm going to do my best to bring some baseball for windows during the day for folks of you that are working later hours, whatever. But my schedule is extremely variable right now. Um, so for this Thursday, there will be daytime baseball definitely. We'll be able to do Ned McGreevy. Tomorrow night will be a bit later, but I'm off Thursday, which would be nice. Um, Friday, probably the next day we'll probably be doing some baseball will be Sunday. But again, I'll try to keep you guys up to date. But right now everything is sort of in flux. Um, you know, Unfortunately, this can't be my job. So there you go. And to be honest, I'm also facing the realities of doing just a baseball only channel, which is why I've got to kind of keep this one going. But I do have to start a new one up because largely for a lot of reasons too. Just doing this, like I said, um, doing this for fun mainly. I also know that you know partly it's me. I took a year off from this channel, then was active on it, and then inactive for about a year or whatever. I also know that really what the sports gaming community wants, I think I've reached the threshold of the number of subscribers I can do with just a largely baseball only channel. The guys who are and I love what they do. Um, but I'm kind of going back. I've noticed the past few weeks I've been trying to again, kind of talk about other people's channels. I'm seeing that except for our Red Sox fan, I'm not really getting that and Steve, of course, but I'm talking about the other guys. I'm not really getting any, I'll sit in their chats, say hi, and they're hi, and that's it. But I talk about their channels, and I encourage people to go to their channels. They don't reciprocate, so there's that. There's also the fact that the community largely wants really modern baseball, and they also want to watch some guy chuck dice. And I don't mind doing some modern baseball. Usually, baseball for Windows is more modern baseball. But I created this channel because I figure while I'm having fun playing the games, why not share them? And I'm also my thing isn't to try to be a sports broadcaster. So those who are like Christopher Slovic, I think they're awesome. As far as the two other guys, I don't really care what they think about me. You know who it is. They know I'm talking about them if I'm even a fly in their radar, but they're not the reason. I've got to start another YouTube channel. This one will still keep going, but another one that's going to have nothing to do with baseball. Nothing at all. And in fact, I'm going to keep it so separate, I'm not going to be telling anybody here what it is because the stuff I'm going to be doing, I mean, the gaming, yeah, there's going to be gaming, but it's not going to be sports gaming. But there's going to be a lot of music. There's going to be, I want to develop it into dealing with history and doing stuff with just experimental things, experimental AI, and things like that. But I think that I would not be serving the community very, very well if I would say, oh, by the way, here's my new channel. Hopefully, if you guys find me, and you like some of the stuff that I'll be doing, that would be really nice. Um, and if you don't find me and I find new subscribers, this channel will always be first for me. It always will be. My love for baseball. And just 1 second here. Just trying to collect my thoughts. And we will get to a game. All right. Um, so that's going forward. What's going to happen? It's not going to so much take away time from this channel. Um, but I do realize that while I've said that I'm not trying to build this channel, um, I do think I've reached critical mass now. I've been trying a lot of different things. The McGreevy League was really a good thing, and I think why I'm kind of feeling a little down is we're coming down to the end of it. It's coming down to the end. I'm really looking forward, um, to the Negro Leagues project, which will be later in the year because we don't want Steve to rush. I don't want him to rush. He is so much in love with this project, and I can't wait to see it happen, obviously. But I've reached critical. I think I've really, it's one of those things. I think it comes from my background as a performer, and sometimes you realize that you reach a certain point with the act that you're doing, and you have to as a performer, and I'm a performer as an actor. And again, I've told you guys, right? Yeah, part of my rambling. We will get to a game. I promise you, right? I could, and maybe some night I'll prove it. I could actually, if I wanted to, sound like a baseball broadcaster and probably be damn near as good as Christopher Slovak. And Chris is freaking amazing, and I'm telling you guys, you gotta check out that channel. I can do what these guys are doing, but I don't want to be an actor on here. I don't. But I'm a trained actor. I'm a trained musician. I'm a trained sleight of hand artist. I used to be an illusionist. I have quite the resume. I've played for some of the biggest bands you guys, well, maybe Robbie might not have heard of, but some of you other guys have heard. Right? I've met Pete Townsend. I've met Roger Daltrey. I've met big people in the business. I've met big actors. All of those things. I had a lot of chances that, because of the way I was brought up, were taken away from me, including Broadway. Believe it or not, and I am not lying to you. But I don't want to be an actor here. I want to be what some of the other guys aren't doing. And I tried to create a niche channel. And right now, and I'm not reading your comments yet, but I see Robbie, I see Random Human 19, who's newer to my channel, to World's Worst Gamer, right? I have you three guys in here. And I know that you guys are here because you like being here. And there's a lot of other people. Um, my focus will always be the game is incidental. I just want to chat with you guys. That's really all. And when I say like to get a couple guys every once in a while, I'm like, I mean that just to chat baseball. Whether there's a game on or not is to me irrelevant. I love baseball, but even more, I love talking to baseball fans and the knowledgeable fans that come into my channel. And I know, hey, guys go to other channels too, but it seems like, and I hope I'm right about this, what I sense is in the sports gaming community, I get the best of the best here. I do. I learn something from all of you guys. Yes, even you, Robbie. I do. So, but as a performer, I have to realize I've hit critical mass. I have to realize that. And so rather than chuck in the towel because I don't give up and say, well, and some people do that. Well, my channel's not doing it. I quit. I remember subscribing to people who had amazing channels. They were awesome, very conversational, and they were getting 100, 200 subscribers. Go around YouTube and look at the shit that gets, and it's not even in our the person in our sports gaming community. Well, I don't know about Gardner and Juckett because they're on Twitch mostly. I don't know about those guys. I know they have a lot of subscribers, but I'm talking about the do make mainly YouTube is Jester. Jester's over 2,000 subscribers, but Jester is always all branched out. Our Red Sox fan, he's at like 1,500 subscribers, and so on and so forth. And these guys do something that I don't. Besides, what in the case of our Red Sox fan, and being a really excellent broadcaster, is they branch out. I occasionally throw a Diablo game up here to screw around or whatever. But this has been a baseball channel, but it's been a niche baseball channel. Um, and I think I've hit critical mass with it. So the channel will continue, but I've decided I'm not going to buckle to what the rest of the community is doing. I am going to do the 1960s League because I want to learn more about the 1960s. The baseball for Windows stuff will be modern baseball because it's just a way for people, like on days that I'm not working or whatever, and people just want to hear some baseball, and you guys get to hear Ernie Harwell. So I think that's really cool. I think it's fun. Um, So this channel, as it continues, this one called Beatles Eternally will be devoted to baseball, and it's going to be mostly devoted to baseball prior to the 1960s. Not that there's anything wrong with baseball forward, but everybody else is doing it. So I just don't want to be that other face in the crowd. I'd rather be that little channel that does something a little bit special. And you guys coming in here and talking about like World's Worst Gamer playing Federal League, Random Human 19. And again, I haven't read your comments yet. I'm just looking at your names right now, and talking about and your baseball knowledge and Big Clue, and wow, how fortunate I've been to meet up with Steve Tate as well. It's been a great ride. Cousin Ken Castro, who's been here. And I see Forever Remain 90, who's tuning in 6 hours ahead of me. MV, who tunes in 5 hours ahead of me. I'm not going to forget you guys at all. But, if I can sort of do some other things on a completely new channel and starting over from square one with no subscribers, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Because the other thing is I don't want to be on here doing music, and I've got you guys here coming on here, and I'm talking about stuff like, you know, modals and music and stuff like that. A lot of you guys aren't musicians. It doesn't interest you, and I sometimes feel badly because you'll come in just because it's like, hey, Beatles is a good guy. We want to come in and do this. This way, I can just keep serving up baseball, and I can more easily accept the fact that I've hit critical mass because since I can do other things, in addition to performing. I'm also an artist. I'm a digital artist, and I draw and I paint in traditional media as well. I am kind of the quintessential artsy person. So that avatar that you see, that is me, the long-haired guy. That's me. That's who I look like. That's me. My hair's cut a little bit now. It's just down over my shoulders, but that's me. I'm the artsy guy that happens to love one sport. And to be frank with you guys, I'm in a sports gaming community where the rest of the people in here love all the other sports as well. Um, I think there's only one or two other people in this community that are just kind of almost baseball only fans. I've said before I have a passing interest in boxing, but that's it. Baseball is my love. Baseball is my passion, and especially older baseball. And I know it sounds silly to a lot of people in 2023, but not only for these players between 1880 and 1919, and I can't thank any of you, all of you that come in here, and those who aren't here tonight, and whatever. And then I know this sounds silly because it's on a game, but you know what? These players, all of you, sharing your anecdotes, and some of you now getting an interest in older baseball. that means a lot. And that these players somehow, even virtually, get to play and be glorious again. Which is why I love Anthony Bleacher Bums Gaming, why I love his Dead Ball Diaries. Because I think in his own way he's doing something too to talk about an era and a time of baseball where these great athletes are every bit as good and every bit as deserving as Mike Trout and Ken Griffey Jr. and Aaron Judge, Greg Maddux, all these people. And so I want to keep bringing that, and I hope with your good graces I can continue to do that and that you'll be fine with that. I do want to explore baseball in the 50s and the 40s, the 30s, the 20s, so not just dead ball. I'd like to do a different type of Ned McGreevy League down the road where we all get together and say, let's pick some great teams from the past, and whatever team you name is who you can manage, and we can create a tournament. I have a ton of baseball ideas, and I want you guys to know that. Hey, John, I see John DFW. I'll get your comments in a minute, gents, I promise. And then we'll get to a game. This means a lot to me. This channel means a lot to me. You know, I spend my day at work, and I think about getting together and chatting with you guys at night. And it means so much, you know. It's not like I don't have a life. I mean, I have a beautiful girlfriend. You know, I've got two wonderful cats. I mean, I've got things I can do. I have sleight of hand magic. I have music. But the thing that I always look forward to is getting together, chatting with you guys, and you guys having a good laugh when I screw up certain things that happen on Action PC or whatever, and the fact that I'm not a baseball broadcaster, that I'm not that guy. And you guys still come here, and that means a lot to me. And while I would never be presumptuous to say on behalf of these players, I thank you, I will say I will thank you for allowing me to sort of bring this to you with your help and your cooperation, those of you who manage teams and those of you who come in. This means more to me than you guys could possibly imagine. I want you to know that, right? And I'm a bit of a contrarian, and you know, my refusal to do later baseball and to set up a replay of the, you know, I could if I wanted to, right? Why not replay the 2015 Pirates season? I don't want to. I really don't want to. Right? Why? You know, 8 years ago, I was at home 6 hours, right, across the pond, and 5 hours across the pond, two different countries in Europe. And you can tell by my voice, and it's usually pretty hidden, I'm not exactly straight up American. I actually push the accent down, but and that's just my decision. But I know the 2015 seasons in my mind. The great seasons are in my mind. But we're playing in a time that none of us were there, and I love it. And I hope that you guys, when Steve has this league ready, even if it's next Christmas, that you guys will be part of it, and that we can get 8 people to pick a team of Negro League All-Stars, or Negro Leaguers, right? And we're going to draft, create 8 teams, the Buck O'Neill League, and I hope that 8 of you. We hope we can get 8 of you. We hope we can get more. Talk to Steve about doing 2 draft leagues, one on my channel, one on his, or one big draft, and splitting up the games between his channel and mine. I do want to reach out to Bleacher Bums Gaming. Said he may be interested. I don't know if Al Red Sox fan would be. I think he might. Those are the guys I'm thinking of. If you guys have any other ideas, that would be wonderful. This is older baseball, so it's kind of a limited pool. So just wanted to let you guys know that. And again, the schedule right now is going to be erratic. There's nothing I can really do about that. But I will be on here as time permits. So welcome into Robbie Wartburg to Random Human 19, World's Worst Gamer, and Forever Remain 90, and John DFW. And World's Worst Gamer says, more to life than baseball. Hope you have fun with the new channel. Thank you very much. Random Human 19 says, rock on. Just do what you want, what you like. Fuck what others think. I'll say it. I can say it. And I will. Forever May 90, it's 4 a.m. here, and I don't have to get up for 2 more hours. I'm still here. What's that tell you? Tells me a lot, my friend. In fact, and Random Human says whether he's viewer 1 or viewer 1000. Tells me a lot, and it means a lot. So, thank you for my ramble that took 21 minutes. So we'll try to speed through this game, or what we have coming up here. All right. So, Manchester has taken first place again by a mere one game over the Philadelphia Quakers. 2 games back is Cleveland, whom we won't see tonight because it's Cleveland at Liverpool, and unfortunately, the way we set up our league, I can't manage my own team when it's the home team. Anyhow, Providence just 3 games back, Butler 5 back, as well as my team, we're 5 back. Bellingham 6 back, Carolina 7, Arsenal is 8, and St. Louis is, you can read the screen. We'll just put it that way. So, except for Cleveland at Liverpool, we could do Philadelphia at St. Louis tonight, Bellingham at Carolina, Arsenal at Providence, and Manchester at Butler. So, I'm going to go ahead and auto-play Cleveland at Liverpool. Liverpool a chance to maybe play a little bit of spoiler. We'll see. Hope everybody had a good day, by the way. I really do. All right, Cleveland coming into this game at 67 and 60. Liverpool at 64 and 63. Here we go. And bad news for Liverpool. Cleveland shuts them out 2-0. Mordecai Brown gets the win. He goes to 18 and 12. Rube Marquardt takes the loss. He goes to 8 and 9. Brown gets the complete game, 7 strikeouts. Let's look at the box score for that Cleveland-Liverpool game really, really quickly. 2-hit shutout thrown by Mordecai Brown. So he had a couple bad outings for Todd B., who's the manager of Cleveland, but he should be very, very, very happy. Marquardt gave up 10 hits. Only 2 runs, a run scoring in the first and in the third. But a great 2-hit shutout by Mordecai Brown, and I'll take that loss. Mordecai Brown, one of the greatest pitchers of all time. Marquardt, not bad, certainly. Cap Anson went 2 for 4 with a home run and a stolen base in that game. All right. I know, John, with your work schedule, we only have one home manager here tonight. So I think I'm just going to pick one and we'll just have fun with it. And let the computer just handle everything. And I think we'll do Cleveland or Manchester at Butler tonight, if you guys are fine, because we haven't seen the Butler Yankees too much. All right. So we'll make Butler the home team. All right, and let's do this. Got to change this up so you guys can hear sound. Steve Tate was on a little while ago, a few hours ago. So check it out, guys. He's just talking more about what he's doing with the upcoming Buck O'Neill League, which is what we're calling it. But then also plans to take it into a larger league. So hopefully by February for Black History Month, Steve's really certain, before I hit play here and start, well, I can do this and pick lineups and stuff. So Steve is really, really confident that we will be able to have at least 2 teams done to be able to do an All-Star game for Black History Month, which I think would be an absolute blast. So look for that. Black History Month. We're going to do that in February. Looks like Pud Galvin is taking the mound tonight. All right. So let's get Galvin up and ready. All right, and before I hit OK, because Manchester, it's Galvin and Johnson, Walter Johnson tonight. So that's what's good. We're definitely going to do something for Black History Month, and that'll be two teams of Negro Leaguers, and Steve's putting together those teams, and we're going to do it up. We're going to do it up at Comiskey Park, the way they used to do it in the Negro Leagues every year. That was the highlight of the Negro League baseball season, not the World Series, but their the Negro League All Star Game, and we're going to play at Comiskey Park just like they did, and I hope that you guys will join in. Join in. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Maybe we even get some people elsewhere that normally wouldn't be interested in this. Um, Steve's sending me some teams. There's a possibility Sunday. All right, yeah. Have a good game or have a good night. Thank you, John, for coming in. There's a possibility Sunday we'll do a test game between two teams of Negro League players. So hopefully we'll be able to do that on Sunday. Hope you guys will come in. Actually, as I'm looking this, I got to take Galvin out. It's actually Jack Holmes. Although I don't think Holmes is in this rotation. Let me look. Yes, he is. Jack Holmes is actually the most rested as I looked. He hasn't pitched since the 23rd. So it's actually going to be Jack Holmes. There we go. All right. So, and let's go to replay stats. That's a little better. Yep, and I was right. It is Jack Holmes. Nice. All right, let's get to the ballpark. And again, thanks for listening, guys. Settle in, have a beverage, roll up a game, play a game of whatever you're playing, and I hope you enjoy. All right, welcome to Hilltop Park for today's game between Manchester and Butler. Walter Johnson will start for Manchester. He's made 28 starts on the year, and he is 14-9 with an ERA of 1.17, and he is leading the league in ERA, and quite comfortably as well, I might add. This will be his third start against Butler. He's 2-0 with a 0.43 earned run average against them. He'll be opposed by Jack Holmes today. Holmes has made 26 starts in the year, and he is 9-16 with an ERA of 3.65. This will be his third go-around against Manchester, and he is 0-1 with a 2.30 earned run average. At game time, it is 84 degrees. The wind speed is 8 miles per hour. In from center field here at Hilltop Park in New York City. Let us play ball.
Play ball!
Thank you, Robbie. I will keep being me. I'll just put it that way. All right, so Jesse Burkett stepping in. Burkett, one of the league leaders, he's one of 4 players coming into today's game who is hitting at 300 or above. 4 players in this entire league, which is to be expected. Dominant pitching. Burkett is hitting 305 with 37 runs batted in. Jack Holmes has finished his warm-up pitches. We have a good crowd today and a sultry day in the Big Apple. I expect the breeze isn't going to mitigate it much, and we may hit 90 degrees before it's over. So settle in, gents. Here we go. Johnny Kling now sets the target for Jack Holmes. Jack Holmes peers in, and this one a swing and a miss and a strikeout, and that was fast. 0-2 count. I want to bring up this play-by-play box a little bit because it's a little bit tiny. It's a little bit tiny. Play-by-play box height says medium. Yeah, we're going to go large and see what that does. Going large is better. There we go. All right, Cupid Childs, a 249, 33 runs batted in. Combs with the sign from Kling. Here's the 3-1 delivery. And Childs chops this little fastball onto Freddie Perrin, who goes to Tommy Tucker. Plenty of time to retire Childs, so 2 up, 2 down here as Big Dan Bruther steps in. Bruther's hitting a healthy 310, 6 home runs, 53 runs batted in for Bruthers. Combs rocks and fires. 2-2 pitch to Bruthers. Little screwball up the middle, base hit. Beaumont will take it on the bounce. So 2-out single for Manchester. And Bruthers on the season has stolen 25 bases. Here's center fielder Chick Stahl. Now he bats from the left. Stahl hitting at 262, a home run, 33 runs batted in. On a hot day, 27 August 1900. Bruthers into his lead at first. Combs checks the runner. Here's a delivery to Stahl. There goes Bruthers. The throw down. Perens tag not in time. And Dan Bruthers has made his 26th theft of the season. So runner in scoring position for the Manchester Red Bolts with 2 down here in the top of the first. Chick Stahl back in the box. The 0-1 delivery by Combs. Screwball. And that one is a called strike 3 on the outside corner. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. Manchester Strands one in scoring position. We go to the bottom of the first. It's the Red Bolts nothing and the Butler Yankees coming to bat. Butler will send up Ginger Beaumont, Tommy Tucker, and Steve Evans. Beaumont in the season hitting 235, 2 home runs, 24 runs batted in. Beaumont a very good player in his day with putting up a good number for the Pittsburgh Pirates, Philadelphia as well. And Walter Johnson, what can we say about Walter Johnson? Just absolutely just dominant as he was back in his day, the big train. This whip, .877. Opponents hitting only 194 against Johnson. He has 172 strikeouts, only 46 walks. Johnson winds and fires. Payoff pitch to Beaumont. And Beaumont swings at the 3-2 pitch and comes up with nothing but air. 1 down. K number 1 for the big train. In other news, midlife crisis today, playing action PC baseball, had a no-no. So last week, Scott McGregor pitched one for me in Baseball for Windows. And for midlife crisis, Lefty Grove pitched a no-hitter today in his King of the Hill tournament. So way to go, Lefty Grove. That's, of course, Lefty Grove is on the Arsenal team, Robbie's team. So 2 no-hitters in 2 weeks. That is awesome. All right, here's Tommy Tucker, 263 average, a home run, 47 runs batted in. Tucker expected to hit about 276, so he's on pace. The lefty stands against Johnson. Johnson has the sign from Ray Schalk. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Tucker. And Tucker lays off that pitch, and Walter Johnson, after striking out the first batter, issues a free pass. So Tucker aboard. Tucker with 28 steals in the season, and here is right fielder Steve Evans. Steve Evans, a little bit below average, but average hit and run. Tucker with good speed at first. Evans hitting 230 with 5 home runs and 35 runs batted in. The big train deals. And there goes Tucker. Schalk's throw down. Tinker's tag. And Tucker just gets under the tag of Tinker. A little bit of alliteration. 29 steal for Tommy Tucker on the season. Runner in scoring position. 1 out. Johnson comes home with it to Evans. Evans swings, and Johnson bobbles the ball, making the quick play off the bump, but unable to hold on to it. So Evans aboard at first. That'll be an E1, Johnson's 3rd error. Tucker will make it to 3rd. Runners at the corners, 1 out. So Butler threatening here in the bottom of the first as Hardy Richardson steps in. League leader in home runs with 11. Richardson hitting 257 with 65 runs batted in. From the stretch, the big train works. The 2-1 delivery. Curveball. High fly ball to center field. Chick Stahl goes back on it, makes the catch. Tucker tags, and Tucker will score the first run of the ball game. So a run in is 1-0 Butler, 2 down. And that brings up Al Shear and our hot dog vendor from the Bronx in the background. Left fielder Al Shear hitting 212 with a home run and 24 runs batted in. Evans at first with 14 steals. Johnson checks the runner, throws over. Evans back in, plenty of time. Oh, wait. No, they get Evans. So that was actually A closer play. It looks like they missed, but late call by the umpire. And Johnson with a nice pickoff move. And Evans caught napping off first. One run, no hits, one error. And we go to the top of the second. It's 1-0. The Butler Yankees. Manchester Red Bulls will send up Chief Wilson, George Pinckney, and Ray Shaw. Chief Wilson hitting .259, 5 home runs with 59 runs batted in. Jack Combs is with 2 in the game thus far. Combs winds and fires the 1-2 pitch. Fastball, base hit into right field. Wilson makes the wide turn at first. Evans up with the ball, gets it into Richardson. Second base knock for Manchester in the game, and that brings up George Pinckney. Pinckney hitting .286 with a home run and 40 runs batted in. Chief Wilson, 12 steals in the season. He will pick his spots. Johnny Kling, pretty good arm down there at first, or behind the plate, I should say. Jack Combs with the check of the runner appears in, has the sign from Johnny Kling. Throw over, and Wilson back in ahead of Tucker's tag. It's a good move to first by Combs. Trying to keep Chief Wilson honest there at first. Combs now delivers. 3-0 pitch, and Pinckney laying off the curveball. 2 aboard, nobody out. And for Combs, that's his first free pass of the game. That brings in Ray Shaw. Yeah, I see that, Robbie. You're doing a lot of baseball for Windows. Keep it up, buddy. All right. Wilson at second, Pinckney at first for Ray Shaw. Shaw hitting a dismal 184 with 31 runs batted in. Was projected to hit .243 in this league, playing well below expectations. Combs fires it in, 3-1 to Schock, and Schock chops this one to second. Richardson up with it. He'll go to Perrin for 1 to retire Pinckney. Schock will make it on the fielder's choice. Runners at the corners, and 1 down. And it was a hard slide by Pinckney. There was no way Freddie Perrin was going to be able to make the leapfrog and the throw to first as he went down on his face. Runners at the corners, and here is Joe Tinker hitting .235, a home run, 39 runs batted in for Tinker. Combs working from the stretch, the 1-0 delivery. There goes Schock, base hit, so the hit and run on. Evans up with it. Wilson will score, and we have a tie game as Ray Schock will go to third. So the RBI scoring Chief Wilson, and we have a 1-1 ball game. Tinker at first, good speed, and 21 steals on the season. Ray Schock at third. And here's the big train, Walter Johnson hitting a 161, 3 runs batted in, including a home run. Combs sets, and from the stretch, here's the pitch. There goes Tinker, the throw down by Kling, not in time. Joe Tinker steals base number 22. 2 in scoring position now for Manchester. Combs climbing the mound again, has the side, works from the stretch to the big train, 1 out. Screwball swung on up the middle, base hit by Walter Johnson, RBI, scoring Schock, rounding third, and scoring is Joe Tinker. So 2 runs batted in for Walter Johnson, and Manchester showing why it's in first place. It is now 3-1. Still only 1 out, Johnson at first, and we're back at the top of the order for the Manchester Red Bulls. And Jesse Burkett, the Hall of Fame left fielder, struck out back in the first. Jack Combs deals now to Burkett, the 0-1 delivery. Fastball swung on, base hit to right. Evans up with it, Johnson rounding second as the third base coach waves his arms and says, "Stay where you are, big train. We do not need the express to arrive at the station." So 2 aboard. Jack Combs looking for a possible double play here. Johnson at second, Burkett at first. Cupid Childs grounded to short back in the first. Combs hoping to induce the double play and end any further damage here. Combs delivers now the 2-0 delivery. Screwball lined Right to Hardy Richardson. Looks like Richardson had maybe trapped the ball, so late call by the second base umpire, but Richardson making the clean pick. So 2 down. I suspect he maybe got it right off the top of a pebble here on the infield in Hilltop Park. Dan Bruthers, 1 for 1. Singled back in the first. Combs wheels and deals. 1-2 pitch. Swung on. Change up to Freddie Perrin. Perrin will go to Hardy Richardson covering to retire Burkett and the side. 3 runs on 4 hits, and there were no errors. And we go to the bottom of the second. It is 3-1. So Manchester coming through with 4 hits in that inning, as Walter Johnson faces Al Shearer, who back up there again after Evans was caught napping. Great pickoff move by Walter Johnson. So Shearer hitting .212. Waiting on deck is Jimmy Collins. The big train winds and fires. Fastball. This one sent shallow center field. Chick Stahl barely has to move. 1 down. So Stahl had Shearer played perfectly. And here's Jimmy Collins now, strides to the plate. .223 average for the hot corner man. He's got 8 home runs, 47 runs batted in. The big train with the easy motion. 1-2 delivery. And Jimmy Collins, big cut and a miss on that fastball, and just flailing at that. 2 down. Johnson picks up K number 2. Freddie Perrin now. .264, 5 home runs, and 47 runs batted in for Perrin. So Johnson fires it in. The 0-2 delivery, and Perrin sends this one. High fly ball to right. Going back on it is Chief Wilson, and Wilson will make the catch. As we see that Robbie is playing Legends of something or other. All right, on Steam. All right, so nothing across when we go to the top of the 3rd inning. It is still 3-1. So whatever game that was, Robbie, enjoy it. All right, Chick Stahl, Chief Wilson, and George Pinckney due up for Manchester. Stahl struck out back in the first. Combs, the owner of 2 strikeouts and a walk in this game, and behind 3-1. Early innings here. Combs delivers it to Stahl, the 0-1, and this one bunted. Kling pouncing on it, throws on to Richardson covering on the play. 1 away. So score that one 2-4 as Chief Wilson steps in the left side of the batter's box. Wilson, perfect 1 for 1 thus far, singled back in the second. Combs leg kick and the 3-1 delivery. Fastball swung on. This one going to the corner for extra bases. Wilson into second with a 1-out double. So runner in scoring position, and here comes Manchester again looking for more, and that is safe hit number 6 for Manchester. George Pinckney now steps in, and Pinckney walked back in the second. Jack Combs peers over his shoulder at Chief Wilson. Peers in, has the sign now from Johnny Kling. Wilson has a pretty good lead at second. Combs delivers the 1-1 to Pinckney, and curveball into shallow center field. Ginger Beaumont ranging it on this ball will make the catch. Wilson will hold at second. So 2 down for Ray Schalk, who is 0 for 1. Combs delivers the 0-2 to Schalk, and Schalk looks at a call. 3rd strike 3, no runs, 1 hit, no errors. A man left on. We go to the bottom of the 3rd, and it's still 3-1. And Robbie did a 3-game marathon last night in baseball for Windows. Awesome. Johnny Kling, Jack Combs in the top of the order, and Ginger Beaumont. So we will have seen Butler go through its lineup for the first time here in the 3rd. Johnny Kling acquired from the Chicago Cubs, hitting .229, a home run, 47 runs batted in. Robbie says he'll be doing some Federal League later tonight as a recorded video. So guys, if you haven't subscribed, do subscribe to Robbie Warburg's channel. And check out, he's doing 1914 Federal League. Of course, Federal League going for 1914 and 1915. You'll recognize from this league quite a handful of dead ball players in the Federal League. Some fairly big names as well. All right, the big train now with 2 strikeouts and a walk to face Johnny Kling. Payoff pitch to Kling. Kling lays off. So Johnson a little bit erratic, issuing the free pass to Kling. So 2 free passes and 2 whiffs. Infield in at the corners, as you would expect, as Jack Combs steps in, and the pitcher hitting 195 with a home run, 8 runs batted in. And there is Christopher Slovic. Reminds me of Pullman Park. This is your park, Christopher. Todd B coming in, saying good evening. Hopefully you're doing well. Been singing your praises a lot on this channel, Christopher, getting people to listen to what real broadcasting sounds like. All right, so infield at the corners, Pinckney in at third, Bruthers in at first. As Jack Combs gets ready, they're looking for the bunt. Johnson fires it in. 0-1 delivery. Combs gets the bunt down. Schock goes to second to take out Johnny Kling. Great heads-up play by Ray Schock. So Combs really does not get the job done. Not enough time to retire him at first. Runner aboard, 1 down for Butler as Ginger Beaumont steps in. Center fielder 0-for-1 in today's contest. Struck out against Johnson back in the first. So both teams above 500. Butler Yankees a game above 500, still in the race. And Manchester in first place by 1 game over Philadelphia. This is going to be tight going down the stretch with about 27 games to go, I think. September call-ups very soon, gentlemen, possibly tomorrow night. So be thinking about September call-ups and who you want. You can choose to pick from the dead ball era 19th century or 5 players in any combination of pitchers, position players from the 1920s, as long as it's fewer than 19 home runs. And Babe Ruth not in under any circumstances in this league. So do think about it, guys, and we'll start our September call-ups. Johnson now checks Combs at first, and there goes Combs. And the pitcher, Jack Combs, picks up the steal. That's his second. So Beaumont back in the box, who struck out, as I said. Johnson delivers the 0-1 to Beaumont, and Beaumont chopper to second. Cupid Childs up with it, holds on to the ball, drops the ball. E4, and Ginger Beaumont is aboard. That is the 31st error. Cupid Childs at second. That brings up Tommy Tucker. So Butler threatening. Jack Combs just 90 feet away. Unexpected steal. So catching Manchester off guard, and Jack Combs now perched at third base with 1 out. Looking to get a crooked number up there in the run column. Ginger Beaumont with 20 steals in the season. Schock and Johnson will need to keep a weather eye on Beaumont as he kicks and fires. And there goes Beaumont to throw down from Schock. Tinker's tag. And Beaumont just gets the hand in the second sack there. 2 in scoring position for Butler, 1 down. Johnson has the ball again. Eyes squinting as he peers in. Sunny, beautiful day here in New York. Temperature now up to 85 degrees. Breeze now down to 4 miles per hour. Johnson from the stretch to Tommy Tucker. Fastball popped behind the plate. Schock throws aside his mask, but this one looks like it's going to get out of play. And indeed it does. So Johnson ready to work again now. The 0-2 delivery to Tommy Tucker. Tucker swings. Chopper deep to second. Cupid Childs cannot hold on to the ball. And scoring is Jack Holmes. And indeed, the Butler Yankees get a crooked number now in the run column. An inch closer. It is 3-2. 5 call-ups per team, Todd. I think that'll be good. As we go to 40-man rosters, then we do kind of lose the idea that it's mainly dead ball 19th century. 5 call-ups per team. So that's 50 players from the 1920s. Any combination, pitchers and catchers, or pitchers and position players, as long as the position player is under 13 home runs and that player is not Babe Ruth. So think about them, and because we're getting near our September call-ups in our season. No, they didn't, but we will. Well, actually, they did. No, they did have call-ups, but not kind of in the way that we think of them as call-ups, because remember, until Branch Rickey came along, there were no affiliated minor leagues with these clubs. But scouts would go out during the season if they would find players. Moonlight Graham was actually a call-up. It wasn't like he was with the Giants the whole year, so just one of many, but just he's the first one that comes to mind. Affiliated minor leagues were the brainchild of Branch Rickey. So the time that we have our league normalized to, and in fact, even throughout dead ball and 19th century baseball, there were no affiliated minor leagues yet. But I thought it'd be kind of fun to bring in some players from the 1920s, spice it up a bit, and see what happens. So I don't think it's going to affect the team so much in first place, but I think for a few of the teams that are like mine, 5 games more, and out in Clinton's team, St. Louis is 6 games from elimination, just to spice it up and make it a little bit interesting. Besides, 1920s baseball doesn't really get any love in the community either, so why not? Tommy Tucker with 29 steals on the season as Steve Evans steps in. Evans grounded out back in the first, but was safe on an error. Beaumont just 90 feet away, 1 down. Johnson from the stretch. There goes Tucker, the throw down. Tucker has it stolen. That's number 30. So Butler bringing the running game here. 2 in scoring position, 1 down. Johnson works to Evans, the 1-0 delivery. Evans shoots this one to right field. This is going to be deep enough to score Beaumont. Wilson has it, and both runners tag. Beaumont will score, and Tucker bluffs going to third, but holds station at second, and we are tied here at the bottom of the third now. Manchester 3 and Butler 3. League leader in home runs, Hardy Richardson steps in. Richardson is nothing for 1. Sack flying the first, making it Butler 1, Manchester nothing. So Butler drew first blood, and that lead lasted not even an inning. But now we're tied. And I won't say it, but if you look at the scoreboard, Butler doing it rather interestingly. We'll just put it that way. So I would say look now, because anytime it could change. Tucker in scoring position, 2 away as Johnson delivers to Richardson. Richardson swings, fly ball to left field, going back on it. Jesse Burkett covering a lot of ground, and in front of the Staber cigar sign makes the catch. 2 runs, no hits, 2 errors, a man left, 3 complete, and we are tied at 3. And something very interesting happening right now. 2 things, it's really kind of 2 things happening. So it would be very, 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 very weird if this plays out this way. Happened to Harvey Haddix in 1959, not with this score, but look at Baseball Reference, and you can look for the game that I'm talking about with Harvey Haddix. Jack Holmes is strong. No. I know that. The Cubs and Bears. I already explained that before you came in. We're just doing call-ups. They would do, not call-ups in the way we do, but they would bring in guys. They would bring in players sometimes that scouts would find toward the end of the season. But no, you're right. As I had already explained, there were no affiliated minor leagues until Branch Rickey said, let's have affiliated minor leagues. So, but I do appreciate that anyhow, and I appreciate you, the Cubs and Bears, for coming in. So we're going to do it to spice up the league and just play a little bit. And it's just going to be 1920s players and nobody that's going to be, no Babe Ruths, no Jimmy Foxes, Lou Gehrig's, people like that. All right. And actually, we have a few players here that ride both eras pretty equally already in this league. Max Carey comes to mind. Zach Weeds. Combs now works to Tinker. The 1-2 pitch. Tinker base hit up the middle. Beaumont up with it as Tinker will make the turn at first and hold. 7th hit from Manchester. Joe Tinker with 22 steals. Walter Johnson is 1 for 1. RBI single back in the second, scoring Ray Schalk, and that made it Manchester 3, Butler 1. Combs checks Tinker at first, and the throw over. Tinker easily safe. Combs comes home with it now. Here's the delivery from Johnson. There goes Tinker, the throw down. This one is going to get by Richardson, and Tinker slides, and Collins unable to hold on to the ball. So that's going to be a throwing error on Johnny Kling and E2, and Joe Tinker now at third. So Manchester threatening with his 4th possible run. Todd says when we get to series, will those teams that make it have a roster limit? That's something we can discuss, certainly, in that 3-game series, whether there'll be a roster limit. 1 second, guys. I've got to go off mic for once. All right, back. Just had a message from one of my roommates. Oh, no worries. I know you weren't in here yet. Yeah, as the Cubs and Bears says, right, sorry, missed it. There were amateur and industrial leagues still playing all summer, which could supply a potential pool of players. And they did. And we talked about one guy that actually did get a little late season call up that never got a bat, and he's actually famous. But yeah, we decided. I kind of made it. I was kind of, guys like, yeah, maybe not, maybe so. But I thought it'd be fun to feature a few more 1920 players and just spice it up here. We're very, very bunched up at the top, so why not make it a little bit more teeth chattering? So, and I can understand Todd's concern. He is in second place. He's only 2 games out. Cleveland's been doing amazing. By the way, Todd, 3-finger Brown, 2 hits shutout earlier tonight. Just thought I'd let you know. Brown is back on his mojo. All right, so Jack Combs working from the stretch. And here's Walter Johnson. Here's the delivery to Johnson as an RBI. The 0-1. Fastball. Johnson. Fly ball left field. This will be very much deep enough. And this one off the Staber cigar sign. So Johnson picks up his 2nd RBI of the season, pulls into second with a double, scoring Joe Tinker. It is now 4-3. And all I'm going to say again, guys, is look at the scoreboard on your screen. Hopefully it's clear enough. Something very, very, very interesting happening in this game. And it has to do with those first 2 numbers for Butler. Jesse Burkett steps in. He is 1 for 2. Singled back in the second. Johnson in scoring position. Nobody out. Combs delivers. 4-3 Manchester lead. The 0-1 curveball chopped down to third. Jimmy Collins up with it. The throw across the diamond to Tommy Tucker. In time to retire Burkett. Johnson will hold station at second base as Cupid Childs steps in. Childs has grounded out and lined out. Cupid Childs also the not-so-proud owner of an error in this game. Combs comes home with it, the 2-2 pitch. Fastball. Caught on and missed. Strike 3, and that is the 4th K by Jack Combs in the game. 2 down for Big Dan Bruthers. Bats in the third slot for Manchester. Singled back in the first. Combs, the leg kick and the 0-2 delivery to Bruthers. And Bruthers, strike 3 called, inning over, 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It is 4-3. So Todd said he missed Sunday night, came in too late. No worries, Todd B. Tonight was the 2-hit shutout by Mordecai Brown. The Negro League stuff, Steve is doing a lot of things, so you want to check out that stream, guys. He did earlier today. Hopefully Sunday we will do a test of 2 of the teams. And then sometime in February during Black History Month, we're going to do a Negro League All-Star game, playing it at Comiskey just as the Negro Leagues did. And then later in the year, once the complete file is ready, enough to make 8 teams. I think we have 8 people that are interested, so we're going to have 8 people draft from the Negro Leagues, and we're going to split the games between Steve's channel and mine. So that way you don't have to hear my voice all the time. And it'd be good. It'd be just fun because Steve put in all this work. All right. Leading it off here in the bottom of the 4th is Al Scher, who is nothing for 1. He flied to center back in the 2nd. Schalk sets the target, and the big train with the 2-0 fastball, and this one sent into left field, base hit, and Scher going for 2. Here's the throw to Childs, the tag, and it's a double by Scher, and now I can finally say it. I was wondering, we had a no-hitter, but 3 runs were in. We had a tie game, and that is the first hit for the Yankees, and they are just down by 1 run. It's 4-3. So the potential tying run now in scoring position for the Butler Yankees as Jimmy Collins steps in, nothing for 1. And I mentioned Harvey Haddix. You can look up what happened to him in 1959. That's a heartbreaker. He pitched a no-hitter and lost. And it wasn't like this wonderful way. There was just no nice way to say you've had a no-hitter and lost it. Jimmy Collins is nothing for 1. He struck out. Todd saw it, didn't want to mention. I was hoping that it could happen, but there we go. And it would have been more bizarre if, and I mean, Butler could still win this, but now it's Johnson's pitching a 1-hitter. But imagine it, right? A no-hitter, and Butler would have won, say, 5-4, and did it on no hits. But not going to happen tonight, so now I can breathe. All right. Walter Johnson into his delivery, the 1-1 pitch. And Jimmy Collins, lazy fly ball to center field. Stahl has it in the sights, makes the catch. Scher will tag, but he will stay at second base. 1 down for Freddie Perrin, who is nothing for 1, and ended up on his face in a broken up double play. Johnson fires it in the 0-1 pitch. And this one chopped to Childs at second. Childs will go to first for the out. Retiring Perrin, and Al Scher will move to third. So tying run just 90 feet away for Butler as catcher Johnny Kling steps in. Kling walked back in the 3rd. Johnson from the stretch, and the payoff pitch. And this fastball just missing. The ump says he did not go around. Johnson, pretty even-tempered, just takes the ball back. Runners at the corners for Jack Combs. Jack Combs is nothing for 1, but has a steal in this game. From the stretch, here's the pitch from the big train, the 1-2. Fastball to Combs, chopped to second, Shields up with it. On to Dan Bruthers to retire Combs for the out. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. And 4 in the books here at Hilltop Park in New York. It's Manchester Red Bolts 4 and the Butler Yankees 3. 5th inning action now, baseball fans. And we have Chick Stahl, pardon me, Chief Wilson, and George Pinckney. So Jack Combs looking pretty good, but I don't know if the Butler manager is still in. If not, we will have to let the AI play it all out. Chick Stahl is nothing for two. He struck out and bunted to catcher. Combs fires it in. First pitch swinging. Stahl with a chopping ball to third. Jimmy Collins up with it. The throw to Tucker. Tucker unable to dig that ball out. It gets to the stands, and Chick Stahl ends up at second. So that is the 19th error by Jimmy Collins, or the 10th error by Jimmy Collins at third this year, and Stahl in scoring position. And that is the second error committed by the Butler Yankees in this game. Chief Wilson, a perfect 2 for 2 at the dish, singled and doubled. Stahl into his lead at second. Combs with the leg kick and the delivery. Wilson swinging at the first pitch. Little comebacker to the mound, and Wilson is retired, but Stahl will move to third. 1 out. Manchester threatening here. George Pinckney is nothing for 1. He has walked and flied to shallow center. Combs from the stretch and the 1-2 pitch. Pinckney swings base hit into right field. That's going to be an RBI. Chick Stahl will score. Pinckney rounds first and holds. Manchester adding to its lead. It is now 5-3, 1 away. So Pinckney has 27 steals on the season as Ray Schalk steps in. Nothing for 2. Struck out his last time up. Combs checks Pinckney at first. Here is the pitch, throwing over, and Pinckney dives in under the Tommy Tucker tag. Gets up, dusts himself off. Combs peers in, has the sign from Kling, the wind, up, and throws back over again. And they pick off George Pinckney. Pinckney trying to take off second, but they nail him. So the pickoff play, each pitcher now has one. Combs and Johnson 2 down. So that was pretty big to hopefully minimize any further damage. 2 down, bases empty, Schalk back in the box. Here is the 2-1 delivery, and this one, liner up the middle, and Ginger Beaumont coming in and making a nice play. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, nobody left on thanks to the pickoff. And we go to the bottom of the 5th. And I'm sorry, 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error. And it's Manchester 5 and Butler 3. Due up, Ginger Beaumont. We're back at the top of the order for Butler. Tommy Tucker and Steve Evans. Beaumont, nothing for 2 in the game. He grounded out, though, in the 3rd, or grounded out, and was safe on an error. Steps in against Johnson. Johnson has struck out 2 and walked 3, so Johnson not exactly sharp today, but with a 2-run lead. Did have a no-hitter. Johnson works to him. Beaumont sends this long fly ball to left field, going back. Jesse Burkett by that scoreboard out and left and against the scoreboard, hitting it and rattling the Brooklyn Superbas sign for 1 down. Or wait, was that the Brooklyn Superbas sign? No, it was not. It was the Cleveland Spiders. So there we go. Got to get my eyes checked there. Cleveland still winning that game 2-0 against Liverpool. Tommy Tucker steps in. He has stolen twice today, and he walked and was safe on an error in the 3rd. The big train with the payoff pitch to Tucker. Tucker, chopper up the middle. Tinker ranging to his left onto Dan Bruthers to retire Tucker. So 2 down for Steve Evans, who's nothing for 2. Sack fly back into 3rd, scoring Ginger Beaumont, tying this game at 3. Johnson comes home with it, the 1-2 pitch. And swing and a miss. Side retired. No runs, no hits, no errors. 5 in the books here. It's 5-3. And I do not see Christopher Slovic come in here. So I'm going to see Combs is going to get murdered here. I don't know what we can do with rules. if there's anything we can do with rules. Combs is just going to have to take one. Unfortunately, this happens. Yep. All right. Due up, Joe Tinker, Walter Johnson, and Jesse Burkett. Tinker 2 for 2 today and 2 steals. Combs delivers now the 2-1 pitch. Tinker swings, come back to the mound. Combs off the hill over to Tommy Tucker to retire. Joe Tinker one away. Combs looking terribly tired out there, but 5-3 game. I cannot break the rules. If it was a laugher, I did it for one team, but can't break the rules. I think what we will do, if this gets a little bit more out of hand, is I'm going to switch computer control over to Butler, but we'll see. Johnson 2 for 2, and both times resulting in RBIs, RBI single in the second, and an RBI double in the fourth. Combs deals now. The 1-1 pitch. Johnson swings, fly ball center field. Beaumont going back on this ball and makes a great running catch. 2 down for Jesse Burkett. Burkett 1 for 3 in the game. Combs delivers the 2-0 pitch. Fastball, Burkett swings, base hit into right. Beaumont up with it. Burkett rounding first, and he will hold. And because I don't want to kill, what we're going to do is we're going to go human and computer. There we go. Jesse Burkett with 33 steals on the season. Combs throws it over. Burkett back safely. Combs comes into, now it's Childs 0 for 3. Issues the walk. So Childs aboard. And Jack Combs still in there as Dan Bruthers comes to the dish. He is 1 for 3. Struck out his last time up. Jack Combs into his motion. 3-0 delivery to Bruthers. And there's the walk. So Butler under computer control. So now it's up to the AI what to do with Jack Combs. Bases loaded, 2 down for Chick Stahl, who is nothing for 3. From the stretch, Combs delivers to Stahl. Stahl swings, base hit. Manchester will score. Burkett comes in to score. Childs rounding third. He will score. And allow Pud Galvin to pitch? Absolutely. Combs' day is done. It is 7-3 Manchester. 2 aboard. 2 down. Had to make a judgment call there, guys. Galvin delivers now to Wilson, who's 2 for 2 today. The 1-2 pitch to Wilson. Fastball popped behind the plate. Kling throws aside the mask. Will he have plenty of room here in Hilltop? Going back, and makes the catch against the wall. Side retired, and we go to the bottom of the 6th. It's Manchester 7 and Butler 3. Pud Galvin comes in when the game is over. Yep, well, the home manager was here. I wanted to wait. Looks like he wasn't here. So I didn't have much of a choice, except I didn't want to see anybody's rotation get destroyed. So nothing I could do when we autoplay the games. The AI can take over, but sometimes I do have to make a judgment call. We did that one night, I think, for Todd. He was getting murdered. I don't think he was in, and we just had to do a switch for him. He was the home manager, so had to make a judgment call. Galvin actually would have started the next game for Butler. So now that's going to shake things up a little bit. All right, Hardy Richardson deleted off here in the 6th. Sack fly scoring Tommy Tucker back in the first. Johnson delivers the 1-2 pitch, and Hardy Richardson swung on and missed. Walter Johnson picking up his 4th K. Al Shearer's 1 for 2. Doubled back in the 4th over 3rd. Johnson comes home with it. 2-2 pitch to Shearer. Shearer fly ball to right, going back on it is Chief Wilson, and makes the catch. So 2 away. World's worst gamer. As much as people crap and all the managerial moves made these days, I still like the idea of having a real bullpen. It's nice to have them. Certainly is. Of course, out there in right center field, speaking of bullpens, there's the great Bull Durham sign that would become ubiquitous in parks all over the country. Jimmy Collins, nothing for 2 and 2 down. Johnson delivers the 0-2 pitch. And strikeout number 5 for Walter Johnson's side. Retired, no runs, no hits, no errors. We have played 6. It's Manchester 7 and Butler 3. Due up, George Pinckney, Ray Schalk, and Joe Tinker. Wait for the stupid steam thing to get out of the way. All right. Pinckney 1 for 2. RBI single in the 5th, scoring Chickstall. Galvin with the 0-2 to Pinckney. Pinckney swings. Little chopper up the first base line. Tucker has it. And this one will just roll foul, according to the man in blue. Hey, there's Arnold Hunter. Welcome in, Arnold. Heard you're making a, you got inspired by, what is it, the 5th inning? 4th or 5th inning in Ken Burns baseball to create some Negro League All-Stars, and apparently you woke your wife up and told her about it. Steve Tate said she told you to go to sleep or something. Anyhow, way to go, Arnold. Don't let down the side. How about it? Arnold has his priorities set. All right. Pinckney back in the box. The 0-2 delivery by Galvin. Pinckney sends this one up the first base line again. Tucker has it. He will go to Galvin covering to retire George Pinckney for out number 1. Ray Schalk, a disappointing nothing for 3 today for him. Galvin with the delivery. Curveball, base hit into right field. Steve Evans quickly up with it. Schalk going for 2. Perens tag. This will be close. And that's double number 6 for Ray Schalk. So here comes Manchester again. Runner in scoring position ahead 7-3, 1 down here in the top of the 7th as Joe Tinker steps in. Joe Tinker with 2 steals, and he's 2 for 3 today at the plate, including an RBI back in the 2nd. Galvin comes home with it now. The 0-1 delivery to Tinker. Fastball swung on. This one, a bounding ball up the first base line. Tommy Tucker cannot hold on to it, but keeps the ball in front of him, holding Tinker to first base. So that's going to be error number 13 at first base. Score that one in E3. Tommy Tucker has bungled it 13 times. Runners at the corners, 1 down. Schalk at first, Schalk at third, Tinker at first, and Joe Tinker already with 2 steals today. Walter Johnson 2 for 3, including 2 RBI. Galvin from the stretch to the big train, payoff pitch, and Johnson draws the walk. So Galvin now having some trouble here. Bases juiced as we go back to the top of the order for Manchester. Jesse Burkett 2 for 4. Galvin working from the stretch. And this one, high pop fly on the infield. Perrin and Collins converging. Perrin calls for it and makes the catch. 2 down. So that was a big pitch by Galvin. Now he's just got to get Cupid Childs. Childs nothing for 3, including a walk, and a walk, I should say. From the stretch, the 1-2 to Childs. Childs sends this comebacker through the box. Hardy Richardson will go to Freddie Perrin to retire Johnson and the side. 7th inning stretch, or middle of the 7th. 7-3 Manchester. Oh, Arnold had a dream about it. Okay. Well, so did Ray Kinsella. Who knows, Arnold? If you start hearing little whispers, right? I don't, Arnold. I don't know if you're a farmer out there, but you could be at the store, and if you're near any ears of corn, and anybody whispers, you probably want to make that league. Just say it. maybe, maybe have maybe have the missus watch Field of Dreams first. Then she'd be really cool about it. You end up making this big cross-country trip or something. I don't know. All right. So Perrin now to lead it off here for Butler, be followed by Johnny Kling and Pud Galvin. Perrin has flied out and grounded to second. I see a couple likes in the chat. Thank you guys. Those really help. I appreciate it. And we got 8 people watching, which is nice. Johnson deals to Perrin. Payoff pitch. Perrin swings, chopper down the first base line, and Bruthers cannot hold on to this ball. Gets by him, and Perrin will get to second. So E3, and that's Dan Bruthers' 9th error on the season, and that's the 4th error committed by Manchester. And now Butler with a runner in scoring position as Johnny Kling strides to the plate. Kling in the game has walked twice, so good eye against Walter Johnson. Johnson winds and fires. Kling swinging on the first pitch, bounding ball to second. Cupid Childs takes it on the hop over to Dan Bruthers for the 4-3 putout. 1 down, and Freddie Perrin will make it to third. Butler trying to get back into this ball game, down 4 runs here in the bottom of the 7th as Pud Galvin. We will see whether Galvin will actually get to bat. He's hitting 157 with 8 runs batted in, so this could be a quick call if the AI takes him out, and does not. Here's the delivery to Galvin, and Galvin swing and a miss. And that is the 6th strikeout for Walter Johnson. And we're back at the top of the order for Butler and Ginger Beaumont. I did not see it, Arnold. I didn't get a chance to get on Discord today working. I will check it, my friend. So thank you for the message, and I will definitely check. All right, Ginger Beaumont, nothing for 3. A chance to make something happen here and get Butler a little closer in this game. Lefty stands in. Little wiggle of the bat as Johnson peers in and has the sign from Ray Shaw from the stretch. The 2-1 delivery to Beaumont. Fastball chopped to short. Should be no trouble for Joe Tinker, and it is not. Textbook 6-3 putout. Side retired. No runs, no hits, 1 error, a man left. When we go to the 8th, it's still Manchester 7, Butler 3. And it is 11:03 p.m. here on the East Coast as Dan Bruthers steps in. Bruthers is 1 for 3. Pud Galvin came on in relief of Combs, and looks like he's going to stay in the game. Galvin winds and fires the 1-1 pitch. Bruthers swings in this fastball, base hit up the middle. Past a diving Hardy Richardson, so Beaumont up with the ball, getting it back into shortstop Perrin. So Bruthers at first, 26 steals on the season. Chickstall is 1 for 4. RBI single back in the 6th, scoring Jesse Burkett and Cupid Childs. Galvin comes home with the deal 1 delivery. Stahl swings a little bunt. Galvin up with it. His only play will be to Richardson, covering at first. Dan Bruthers makes second on the play. Runner in scoring position, 1 down as Chief Wilson steps in the box. He is 2 for 3. Popped out to Johnny Kling his last time up. Galvin's 0-1 delivery to Wilson. Fastball, base hit up the middle. This one, clean base hit, and Wilson turns on the Jets and picks up the RBI double. So another run in for Manchester, and it is now 8-3, and looking dim for the Butler Yankees to say the least. Should Butler lose, they will fall to 500 at 64-64, and Manchester will be the first team to hit the 70 win threshold, which tells us that we are at about 27, 28 games left or so, roughly. Galvin kicks and deals to George Pinckney. First pitch swinging. Galvin has it coming off the mound to his right. Off balance throw to Tommy Tucker to restore or to retire Pinckney. So great play by Galvin, getting off the hill quickly. 2 away. Score that one 3-1. Wilson remains at second as Ray Schalk steps in. 1 for 4, and the catcher doubled back in the 7th. Galvin comes home with it. 3-1 pitch. Schalk sends this one back up the middle. Galvin has it. This one deflects off of Galvin over to Freddie Perrin. Talk about luck to retire the side. How about that one? So this one goes off the leg of Pud Galvin right to Freddie Perrin. It was almost a room service bounce. And that one retires the side, and we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Tommy Tucker will lead it off. He has 2 steals today, and he is 0 for 2 in the game. Johnson delivers. 2-0 pitch. Tucker swings. Chopper up the middle. Childs coming in on that. Close play, and Bruthers cannot dig out that ball. That's an E4. But Bruthers able to keep the ball in his vicinity, and Tucker will hold first. So error number 33, Cupid Childs. 2 errors in this game. Steve Evans 0 for 3. Tucker, excellent speed at first. Johnson checks him. Delivers the 0-2 to Evans. Evans swings, chopper, and Johnson will take it to the bag himself. This will be close. And Johnson loses the race. Steve Evans makes it to first. And the official scorer is going to score that a hit. So Manchester's 14th hit of the season. Not sure why Johnson, maybe it was the error by Childs thinking, I'm going to take care of this myself. And loses the race to Steve Evans. Evans has 14 steals in the season. Still nobody out. Butler mounting a threat here in the bottom of the 8th as home run leader Hardy Richardson steps in. He is 0 for 3. Sacrifice fly, RBI back in the 1st. Johnson deals to Richardson, the 3-0. Fastball missing, this one high, and Butler has him loaded for Al Shear. Still nobody out. Walter Johnson has struck out 6 and walked 4. Not a sharp game for the big train. We're looking here at the play results. There's a 30% chance that a run scores, a 14.7% chance that 2 runs score in this confrontation. Schalk sets up. Johnson from the stretch, and the 1-2. And Shear swung on and missed. So big strikeout by Walter Johnson. That's number 7. 1 down as hot corner man for Butler, Jimmy Collins, steps into the right hand of the box, right hand side of the box. 2 strikeouts and a fly out for him. Tucker at 3rd, Evans at 2nd, Richardson at 1st. Johnson from the stretch to Collins. The 0-1 delivery. Fastball swung on. Fly ball to center field. Stahl going back on it. Makes the catch. Tucker is tagging at 3rd. He will score. Evans will hold 2nd. And Butler has now cut this lead in half. It's now 8-4 in favor of Manchester. Evans at 1st, or Evans at 2nd, Richardson at 1st. Freddie Perrin is 0 for 3. He's flied out, grounded out twice. 2 down. Johnson deals the 1-0 pitch. And this one chopped up the 3rd base line. Pinckney has it. Throw across the diamond to Bruthers in plenty of time to retire Freddie Perrin and the side, but 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 left, and we go to the 9th. It's Manchester 8 and the Butler Yankees 4. Due up for Manchester, Joe Tinker, Walter Johnson, and Jesse Burkett in what's been a kind of a bizarre game. Joe Tinker has 2 steals today as well, and an RBI back in the first. Joe Tinker looks to be in line to be MVP for Manchester. Galvin delivers the 0-2 pitch, and this one on the inside corner, and Galvin picks up with number 1. Here's Walter Johnson, who's having a great day at the plate. 2 for 3, 2 RBI. Could have co-MVP unless the Yankees pull off a miracle in the bottom of the 9th. Galvin. Now it's Red Smith coming in, and not even time to talk about his line. Galvin quickly dispatches him. Strikeout number 2, 2 outs back at the top of the order, and Jesse Burkett. And Burkett in this game is 2 for 5. Galvin works to him, the 0-1 pitch. Curveball chopped to short. Perrin ranging to his right. Throws on to Tommy Tucker to just nip Jesse Burkett. Side retired. No runs, no hits, no errors. Bottom of the 9th. It's Manchester 8 and Butler 4. Todd B coming in saying hit the like button, folks. Thank you guys. Appreciate that. All right. And now Johnny Kling, who's nothing for 1. Kling will be followed possibly by a pinch hitter for Pud Galvin, and then Ginger Beaumont. At the end of this game, we will auto-play the rest of them, and we will ski-daddle out. And we do need a pitcher. Walter Johnson's day is done. How about that? All right. Who do we have? All right. Let me see here. Let me see. Always fun. Well, the guy that's been coming in has been Irv Higginbotham, so that's who's going to come in now. And that, yeah, so Walter Johnson, somehow, for whatever reason, even though he went 2 for 3 with an RBI and a 4-run lead, they pinch hit for him. That was strange. But then again, it's been a strange game. All right, Johnny Kling, nothing for 1. Higginbotham with the 0-2 delivery to Kling. Kling swings, and hard ground ball to second. And Childs, this one gets under his glove, and another error by Cupid Childs at second. That is his 34th of the season, and Johnny Kling aboard. That's error number 6 for Manchester, and 3 of them by Cupid Childs. As Todd B says, Irv hasn't pitched in 4 days. Give him the ball, which indeed I have. Pud Galvin, nothing for 1. Let's see if he will hit. He will not. It is Shoeless Joe Jackson hitting 239. Chopper to short. Tinker up with a tinker to Childs to Bruthers for the double play. So 4-6-3 double play, and it's up to Ginger Beaumont to try to start a rally here for Butler. Beaumont is nothing for 4. Higginbotham winds and fires. Beaumont, first pitch swinging, base hit. This one by Joe Tinker into left. And Ginger Beaumont aboard. So Butler not giving up the ghost just yet. 21 steals for Ginger Beaumont. Higginbotham delivers now to Tommy Tucker, who is 0 for 3. And Tucker draws the walk. So 2 on. Yeah, Shoeless Joe not getting a lot of playing time for Butler. Curiously, but how the AI is set up, and Christopher Slovic asked that the AI take care of everything. Shoeless Joe riding the pine. I would be working Jackson into the lineup, but I have to do what the managers want. I wonder how much better Butler would be doing if Shoeless Joe was in the lineup daily. He does have 543 at bats. This might just be was a rest day for Jackson too, but super low batting average for him. You expect a lot more from Jackson, certainly. Yep, Todd B says Shoeless Joe can roll out of bed and hit 300, right? 2 away. Higginbotham delivers to Steve Evans, who is 1 for 4. And this one gets away from Shaw. Wild pitch by Higginbotham. This game starting to become a little bit more interesting now. 2 in scoring position. Did Ginger Beaumont indeed start a possible rally here? We shall see. Butler down 4. Run number 5 at third. Run number 6 at second, or I should say potential. Evans back in the box. The 1-1 delivery from Irv Higginbotham. Evans swings, chopper to second. This should end it. Childs actually fields it, sends it on to Bruthers. Game over. Manchester wins this one 8-4. So a weird game. In fact, no real highlights for Butler. So Butler goes to 64-64 with the loss. Manchester, the first team to hit 70 wins. And what do we have over here? Chief Wilson, 3 for 4, including 2 doubles. Walter Johnson, 2 for 3 with 3 runs batted in. Dan Bruthers, 2 for 4 with a stolen base. Walter Johnson improves to 15-9. Jack Combs falls to 9-17 for the victorious Manchester Red Bolts. Their line 8-14-6, and for Butler 4-3-3. Walter Johnson had a no-hitter for a while in this game, and yet the game was tied at 3. Curiouser and curiouser. Let's look at our pitching. So Johnson went 8, 4 runs, none of them earned. Walked 4, struck out 7. Higginbotham came in after Johnson was pinch hit for, curiously enough. He worked an inning and walked 1. So Johnson gets the win. Jack Combs takes the loss, falls to 9-17, 5 2/3. 7 runs, 6 of those were earned, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. His ERA up to 3.79 for this league. That is astronomical. Pud Galvin worked 3 1/3, walked 1, and struck out 2. Let's look at our miscellaneous errors. I'm sorry, I misjudged Cupid Childs with 4 errors in the game. Ouch. So Walter Johnson picked up an error. Dan Bruthers, Cupid Childs with 4. Jimmy Collins, Tommy Tucker, and Johnny Kling all with errors. So 9 errors in this game to be expected in this era. And these 2 errors, I should say. Walter Johnson picks up his 4th double. Ray Schalk his 6th. Chief Wilson 2 doubles to total 8. Alshear picked up his 11th. Stolen bases, 3 by Manchester and 1 by Dan Bruthers, 2 by Joe Tinker. For the Butler Yankees, Tommy Tucker, Jack Combs, believe it or not. Tommy Tucker with 2 steals, and then Jack Combs. Ginger Beaumont caught stealing pickoff. George Pinckney and Steve Evans. What else do we have here? Irv Higginbotham with a wild pitch. As far as great plays, Ginger Beaumont make 1. Lots of poor plays in this game. Johnson, Tinker, Tucker, and Richardson. Manchester stranded 11. Butler stranded 8. This was a sloppily played game. Manchester turned to double play. Game-winning RBI, Walter Johnson. MVP, Walter Johnson. So I think we can go with that, and that is that. Let's autoplay these other games. Manchester may not hold on to first place. It's going to depend on how Philadelphia does when we autoplay what's going on. So right now, actually, I think Philadelphia lost. Let's look. So they're 1.5 back now. So let's see. Oh, we have Philadelphia. We have 3 games to play out here quickly. But yeah, Manchester in that they've been slumping as of late. We're going to save Philadelphia, St. Louis for last. Arsenal at Providence. So Arsenal at 61 and 66, Providence at 66 and 61. And here we go. Arsenal takes this one, playing a little spoiler, beating Providence 4-1. Ray Fisher gets the win. He goes to 11 and 12. Old Haas Radborn takes the loss and hits the 20 losses threshold. So he falls to 25 and 20. But Old Haas Radborn, you gotta love him. Pie Trainer for Arsenal goes 4 for 5 with a double and a steal. So we saw earlier Cleveland shut out Liverpool 2-0. Three Finger Brown getting the win. Marquardt taking the loss. Three Finger Brown struck out 7 and got the complete game two-hitter. Bellingham and Carolina. Here we go. And Bellingham defeats Carolina 9-4. So Bellingham improves to 64 and 64. Carolina falls to 62 and 66. So Carolina and Arsenal kind of bringing up near the lower end of the league. Dutch Leonard gets the win. He goes to 15 and 10. Frank Kitson gets the loss. He goes to 10 and 9. Delahanty went 3 for 5 with 2 doubles. Finally, the game that we're waiting for. Will St. Louis play spoiler against Philadelphia? Here we go. And that is indeed what happens. St. Louis edges Philadelphia 7-6. Lefty Leafield picks up the win for the St. Louis Wolves. Eddie Seacott gets the loss for the Philadelphia Quakers. He goes to 9 and 10. Bug Holiday goes 1 for 2 with a triple and 2 walks. So that ends the day, 27 August 1900, and we'll let the standings. And so it looks like Manchester actually ends the day and increases its lead. And indeed they do. They came into this game just 1 game in first. They are now 2 games in first. But good news for Cleveland. Cleveland back in second place. Tied for second with Philadelphia, just 2 games back. Providence is 4 games back. And then the middle continues with Bellingham, Liverpool, and Butler at 6 back, but all at 500 ball now. Arsenal and Carolina 8 out, and St. Louis hanging in there, 18 out, but 5 from elimination, getting to play spoiler. Same suspects tomorrow, and then the next time we play, and then which should be tomorrow, and then everything changes up, and we have a whale of a game coming up. Actually, Philadelphia and Manchester will be not tomorrow, but the next time we play, unless we decide to just auto these out. So big game coming up on 30th August as Philadelphia and Manchester begin a 3-game series. And that's it. All right. Anyhow, I want to thank you guys tonight, not only for listening to what I had to say, and hope you enjoyed the game. We're having a lot of fun with this. Again, think about 5 players you'd like to add in if you want for your for down the stretch, whether you're playing for the pennant. Top 2 teams go into a 3-game World Series. And it's getting tight. I'd have to say Providence just barely in the race now at 4 out. But I really think this is going to be Manchester, Philadelphia, and Cleveland tangling all the way down, perhaps reminiscent of the 1908 baseball season. We shall see, as these teams have been keeping pace. So there we go. League leaders pretty much the same. We only have 4 players hitting above 300. Napoleon Lajoie, Tris Speaker, Dan Bruthers, and Jesse Burkett. And that's it. That is it. And Hardy Richardson has been leading in home runs, and that's held at 11 forever. All right. We do have a bit of a pennant race. And it's fun. We're getting down to the end of it. and then we will think of something to do until the complete Negro League Draft League is ready to go. That probably won't be later in the year as we want Steve Tate to take his time. I just want to check on something. So we do have a lead in stolen bases right now. Wagner and Keeler still tied at 46, and Joe Kelly just behind them at 44. So we have, in fact, the top seven. Huey Jennings has 42. He's tied with John McGraw. And then, so it's things are starting to shake out a little bit here. Be interesting to see what happens. I just want to look at pitching and see where Walter is right now. Is he still leading at earned run average? Comfortably. A 1.13 earned run average. And who's number two on the same team for Manchester? Pete Alexander with a 1.86 earned run average. Ed Walsh at 1.94. John Ward 1.98. And Jack Feaster at 1.99. And then we start with Rube Waddell at number 6 with his ERA at an even 2. So 5 pitchers below 2 in earned run average. Rube Waddell still comfortably leading in strikeouts with 209. Johnson with 179, tied with Christy Mathewson. So there we go. Old Hoss Radbourne with 25 wins. He's also leading in losses with 20. The other 20-game winners in this league are Eddie Plank, Christy Mathewson, and Pud Galvin at 20. Ed Walsh is at 19 games. So Mordecai Brown and Addie Joss each at 18, closing in along with Mickey Welch. Jack Chesbro with 17, and Dutch Leonard with 15. So there we go, just a quick kind of snapshot. And that does it. And that does it. 4 20-game winners. So it's a very, very, very tough league. Very tough league. So congratulations to Manchester for hitting win number 70. But nobody, no one's running away. Philadelphia and Cleveland are just right there breathing down the collective necks of the Manchester squad. And again, not going to count Providence out either at 4 games above 500. I think Bellingham, Liverpool, and Butler at 6 games back are going to be playing a spoiler role now. That's it. I'm going to thank you guys for coming in. Todd B., Arnold Hunter, Clinton Parks, Robbie Wartberg. Todd B. says, I saw an Addie Joss tobacco card at the baseball card show for a cool $195. Nice. Too bad you didn't have the 195 and pick it up and kind of put it away. That's a card that will be worth something. Nothing's going to be worth the Hannes Wagner T206, but still, it would be kind of cool to have it. I don't know how many Addie Joss cards were out there, but pretty cool. Thank you, Robbie. Tubby says no. All right, guys. So Robbie is, I guess, was recording a Federal League game on Baseball for Windows as we were doing this game, and a weird one it was. Gotta have them. All right. So let me see. Arnold Hunter. I saw Clinton Parks going up the line. World's Worst Gamer, thank you very much. And all your kind words at the beginning of the stream to Cubs to Bears. Christopher Slovic, who popped in for a little bit. John DFW, Forever Remain 90. Random Human 19. All right, guys. See you around the batting cage. And Robbie now just doing the first of 2. So depending upon whether you guys are looking for some daytime baseball tomorrow, since I won't be able to do it, there will be on Thursday. Robbie will have a Federal League doubleheader on Baseball for Windows over on his channel, so do please subscribe. And at the end of the day, guys, I know Clinton's feeling a little bit, not happy about things. This is really at the end about fun and fellowship, and I hope that no matter what, the people are at least having fun with the league, and just go from there. And next will be that 1960s draft league that I'm talking about. But this time you're drafting a team unseen. You won't see the players. You'll get an idea. I'll show you the leaderboards so you can see some of the players. It's all pretty evenly matched if you guys want to do it. And if not, I'm just going to do some 1960s stuff until, and then maybe one other little project because this is the only project I have going now is just this. And I like to have two going simultaneously when possible. So the stuff I do from Baseball for Windows that doesn't count. That's more for fun and shits and giggles, as they say. Right? All right. So, see you guys are on the batting cage. Tomorrow night's game will probably be starting around this time. Maybe, I'm not sure. It's going to be a little later game tomorrow night, which is usually when these league games started, anyhow. Went early tonight. All right. Thank you, and see you guys. You guys mean so much to me and coming in here and everything. And I'm going to keep doing baseball on the channel, but it's going to be weird starting a new channel and not seeing any of you guys. But this channel will still be around, and it will be for baseball. All right. Take care, everybody. See you around the batting cage. Good night.